Module 4. Tutorial. Purpose. This tutorial presents the completed RCtoDC digitization and digitalization process for 44 Baroque cultural heritage objects documented within the RCtoDC project. The objects originate from cultural heritage institutions in Austria, Croatia, and Slovenia, reflecting the project's transnational scope. The tutorial explains how the project was implemented, which digitization methods and tools were applied, and how the final results are structured and recorded within the Axial Collections database and the accompanying Excel documentation. The Excel sheet is not a preparatory instrument, but the final consolidated project record, capturing all digitization activities, technical parameters, metadata, and digital outputs. This module therefore functions as a methodological explanation of completed work and a reference model for future EU-funded digitization initiatives. Multiple digitization methods were applied, selected according to object size, material, surface complexity, and accessibility. 3D scanning was applied to objects requiring high geometric precision, detailed surface representation, and accurate color capture. Photogrammetry complemented 3D scanning and was applied using smartphones, digital still cameras, and video cameras, depending on object scale, location, and access conditions. All scanner models, camera models, software versions, processing details, resolutions, and output formats are documented in the Excel sheet and linked to object records in Axial Collections. Each digital object underwent systematic validation to ensure complete and coherent geometry, accurate texture and color representation, and correct scale and proportions. Quality control outcomes are reflected in the final Axial Collections database and the Excel documentation. The RCtoDC project applied internationally recognized standards to ensure interoperability and reuse. Axial Collections software was used to aggregate object records across institutions and countries, link digital assets to structured metadata, apply metadata standards consistently, create the final project database, enable interoperability with European data infrastructures. The Excel sheet mirrors this structure and supports data validation and cross-checking. Gallery of 44 completed digitized and digitalized objects within the RCtoDC project. St. John of Nepomuk, St. Leopold, St. Roch, St. Sebastian, St. Francis Regis, Immaculate Mary, Altar of the Holy Cross, St. Francis de Sales, St. Andrew the Apostle, Adoring Angel, Altar of the Holy Body, Fountain of the Three Carniolan Rivers, Charles VI, Marble, Adoring Angel, Altar of the Holy Body, St. Anthony of Padua, St. Bonaventure, a Kneeling Angel, a Kneeling Angel, Home Altar of the Annunciation of Mary, the Immaculate Conception, the Immaculate Conception, Mary Magdalene, Mother of God, The bust of a young saint. The bust of a young pilgrim saint. St. Donatus. St. Francis Xavier. St. John the Evangelist. St. John the Baptist. St. John of Nepomuc. St. Jerome. St. Paul. St. Paul. St. Stephen, kneeling. St. Zachary. Charles the Sixth, clay. Adam. Angel. Blessed Virgin Mary with Jesus. Crucifix. Eve. Cherub's head. Cherub's head. Christ. Madonna.